Way back in Pennsylvania, before development, there was a lot of woods, and periodically there would be a windstorm or a fire and the trees would fall down and there would be a little opening in the forest and a meadow would form there. Eventually it would grow back into a forest, but basically meadows are a natural feature of Pennsylvania. Meadows are really important for wildlife and stormwater management. When it rained, the water just fell on the forest, was absorbed by the trees, evaporated or infiltrated into the ground. And then as there was more and more development, that same rain was falling on pavement and rooftops and streets, and it started to run off, going very rapidly into creeks and streams and causing a lot of damage. Another problem is there's a lot of lawns out there, and a lot of times the land has been compacted and then you've got this grass on top of it, and it's not quite concrete, but it's closer to concrete than it is to a natural environment. So the water is just sort of running across the top of it and not sinking into the ground. A grass lawn has maybe 6 inches of roots, and a meadow grass would have 3, 4, 5 feet of root structure. So when stormwater is running off the land and hits a meadow, it's going to hit those roots and infiltrate much more than mowed lawn. We're looking at how land use practices are now, where we mow a lot of our grass. So if you look at suburbia, at residential developments, or our parks, or our roadways, there's just a lot of lawns out there. What we're trying to do with our mowing to meadow programs is just have a little less of the mow grass and more of our natural meadows. We're in Mondock Park, we're in Upper Dublin. This was a very good opportunity to create a meadow in a highly visible location. And this area is now in transition from turf grass that's being killed off so that we can seed it with warm season grass.
What we're doing here is we're taking turf and we're converting it to a different species called warm season grasses that would have been native to this region when you had openings in the forest. These grasses have a very different root system, so when stormwater comes into this ground, it'll infiltrate better. It's also going to provide habitat. Turf does not provide much habitat for anything much but robins. But when the higher grasses in here, you'll notice a difference in the amount of bird species that are also here, as well as insect populations that would utilize the grasslands. And we're actually trying to reduce the amount of mowing that occurs at the park, reducing our carbon footprint. And we're converting areas that don't receive a whole lot of public use, but can be seen by the public. And we're creating a very sharp edge, so the idea is that people know that this is on purpose rather than just being neglected. We picked this corner specifically because of its prominence both for the road and for the visiting public.
We'll have a sign we'll go up to educate people, let them know, what a meadow is and what the benefits are. And our hope is that this is sort of more of a common practice in municipal parks around in the area where there's lots of lawn being mowed, and we feel that a portion of that can be converted into a meadow.
This park is a multi-use park. There is 2 tennis courts here, a basketball court, and the baseball field. The facilities do get a lot of use, but down the hill is an area that they felt would not be a detriment to leave it at, a 2 to 3 foot tall meadow grass, and it would save on mowing and reduce pollution and decrease runoff. Native grasses are much preferable to invasives. It really only requires to be mowed once a year. There's the cost of the metal installation, but over 5 or 10 years, and it gets into just thousands and thousands of dollars of savings.
Oftentimes people see very ordered landscapes as very beautiful, that English park look, lawn and trees. And what we really need, particularly as more and more places are destroyed, is to bring back full ecosystem. So we often have to think of ways in which we can get people's eyes to be retrained to recognize the beauty.
But a lot of people don't like change, right? There's a lot of residents here that have been here for 50 years, so they're used to seeing it a certain way. But everybody around this park was notified about the work that was going on, and overall it's been a very popular project with the neighbors. We feel that eventually people will hopefully look out and see these tall, waving grasses with butterflies and birds, and they'll realize that this is beautiful, and we'd like to see more of this.